All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the interview. This is Peter Catalano. And I tell you, I love meeting great business owners across the Houston area and really across the country. And somebody we've spoken with before, Chet Miller's with us, and he's with Sharp Impressions. And today, Chet informed me of something new. And I wanted to share this with you all because I think it's a great opportunity, especially when you're looking to provide either a client appreciation or a staff appreciation. And maybe you're still in the lockdown mode, maybe you're still not meeting face to face. But listen, Chet's got some really neat ideas of how to get your name out there and keep your name in front of people, even if you're still not doing the trade shows. So Chet, welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me, Peter.
More than my pleasure. Hey, we were sitting here chatting for a few minutes about how to have an online event that still have something for that person. So I was sharing with you, my neighbor here had an online event, and they sent something to him in advance, and then he opened it during the event. And I thought it was a great concept. You do the same. You were explaining you do something with your with an oil and gas company of yours.
Yes, there are several ways to offer what's basically fulfillment services where we can package a number of items together for an online event, either before, if you want to do something during the event, or you would send it after the event as a thank you. But a lot of my suppliers are offering kits that they will package, and the client would supply a mailing list, Excel, and we'll send it out to. Or I have fulfillment services if we need to piece things together, get one item from this supplier, one item from this supplier, put them together. I have fulfillment services, which I use frequently to get things out.
Can you give me an example of something some of your corporations or entities have done?
Yeah, I think I was telling you about a year ago, I was working with an oil company that typically has an end of year holiday party. And because of COVID, they did not want to get together. So they had a virtual party where people logged on, and we put together a laser engraved wooden box. Inside the box, there was a custom labeled champagne, as well as two laser engraved champagne flutes, a wine opener, and a couple other goodies. And they hand delivered those to the employees in the night of the party. At a designated time, everybody popped the champagne, filled the glass, and drank it. So that's an example of people getting creative and doing things. If it has to be virtual, still getting interaction between employees and everybody else.
That's a great example. I love hearing about that. Now, are you seeing companies this year starting to come together again? Are they? I guess the only way are they booking events, booking trade shows? Have you seen an uptick in that?
It's I was seeing a good amount of activity with companies planning, but because of the recent uptick in all the COVID and Omicron, companies are still a little bit hesitant. So I'm seeing people still doing things online. Hopefully we'll get through this recent wave, but I was seeing a pretty good uptick in the last year. Things have scaled back a little bit since the uptick in cases.
And you're still able, obviously, this has been your bread and butter for years. By the way, real quick, how long have you been doing this?
25 years.
So you get a lot of experience doing this. So in the last 25 years, the holiday parties, the picnics, the gatherings, the corporate, the company gatherings, having all the little giveaway items.
Yeah, it's look, my business, brand and merchandise, it's a physical advertising tool, right? It's a physical thank you tool. And by and large, they are utilized at in-person events. COVID is the antithesis of that, where
Sure.
So it just goes. I mean, my business will not be back to where it was until COVID is under control and companies feel comfortable getting together, whether it's at a trade show, a job fair, a sporting event. We've seen sporting events coming back, but companies are still a little bit leery until we get COVID under control. But as you mentioned, most of the things I give out are done at physical events. And hopefully we'll be getting back to that on a regular basis soon.
Well, and I hope so as well. And I like this idea, though. I like this idea that a company can create a virtual event, have something sent in advance, like you use a description of the flutes and the champagne and the custom brand on it, or custom label, I think was the word. And I think it's really a great idea for people of all business sizes to know that this is an option for them. Now, I think if somebody's putting on a Zoom event and they're hoping to just attract people to listen to them on Zoom, that's one thing. But if they're taking RSVPs and they know the people and they can get an address and you're far enough out in time in advance in preparation, what a great opportunity to go to you and say, hey, why don't you ship to these individuals XYZ? And it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be a mug or something, so that there's that physical while that presentation's being given.
Yeah, it's a lot of companies have been doing that. They've been, some companies, we pieced together some COVID survival kits where we'll send the coffee mug, a notepad, a pen. Companies, a lot of employees are working from home, right? And companies still they want to stay engaged with their employees. They want to still feel connected. It's more difficult because you've got to go through the packaging, the mailing, but companies are still finding ways to do that. And that's where I know the suppliers that can piece things together, as well as I mentioned before, the fulfillment houses to put packages together. So to kind of sum it up, companies are still looking for ways to physically stay connected with their clients, prospects, employees, and brand merchandise is still a great way to do it, although there's the extra step of mailing it.
Well, it's all a cost, right? We're always looking at the cost of it, and whether if you're just redirecting the cost of renting the space and putting the balloon arches and the DJs and converting that into the cost of mailing, because you're probably still going to buy the blankets, the sweatshirts, the caps, the tees, and all that anyway. All right. So now you're just redirecting the cost of rent to the cost of USPS or whatever the delivery is. And, I was just sitting here as you were discussing this, and I know you've mentioned this in one of our meetings before. How cool will it be with especially all the people at home working from home now, if there was a company branded blanket, and I know you do these, and send to the employees home a nice branded blanket as they're sitting in their chairs at home, hopefully cozy in their house. Or, my wife gave me for Christmas the other day a little foot massager. You set it on the floor and roll the foot over it, kind of does that. And I'm sitting there going, as a company owner, that's a kind of a thing I'd want to send to the employees who I now have sitting at home working at, the desk at home and the computer at home. So many different things you can supply.
Oh, yeah.
For a company to appreciate that employee, not just the customer per se, but that employee appreciation. And I would think right now, showing the company or showing the employee how much you appreciate them, hopefully asking them not to resign, but know that you appreciate them, is a big deal. And you can fulfill on that, right?
Exactly. I mean, it just comes down to choosing the right item that's going to cover all the different kinds of employees you have, what's applicable. And, there's just a million ways to skin a cat, to show employees appreciation, to thank clients. And whether we're in COVID or not, there's a lot of ways to get the item out there. And that's what I help my clients figure out. That's part of it. It's not just getting the swag. It's, all right, let's get the most appropriate item. So I'll ask my clients, who's the recipient, male, female? Are they out in the field, or are they typically working from home, or they office type folks. The second part is getting the right message. It's not just putting XYZ company on there. It might be some valuable information that the employee or the client will find useful that you can print on the item. And the third thing is we've been touching on is delivery. Once you get the right item and you get the right message, how can we deliver it so that it has impact? A good example that I always use is if you've ever been to a professional, say, basketball game where they come out at halftime and they have the t-shirt machine gun where they're firing t-shirts, and you gets everybody up out of their seat. You might have to elbow some people to get it, and if you do get it, well, it's now a prize. They've turned that t-shirt into a prize by how they delivered it. And so, because when you look at it, you remember you had to elbow your neighbor next to you to get it, and so you had to earn it. So I help my clients figure out those three aspects to add value to the items that they're giving to their employees, clients, and prospects.
What you just showed us here, Chet, and I'm so appreciative. You just showed us your 25 years of doing this work. You've learned over the 25 years what needs to be asked, how it needs to be asked, the right questions so that the client's getting exactly what they're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
And that's what you bring to the table, is all that experience. Chet, thank you again for joining me on the interview and sharing more about what you do, how you do it, and how you can help clients help your clients make a bigger impact on their employees or their prospects or clients. Thank you for your time. How do people get a hold of you? Let's get that real quick.
Well, so my email is chet@sharpimp.com, and my website is sharpimpressionsonline.com. And my phone number, I love getting phone calls, 713-463-9098. And
Fantastic.
Thank you, Peter, for putting this on. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, more than my pleasure. I mean, hey, the rising tide raises all ships, and we're all going to work together to help everybody achieve what it is they want to achieve. So, Chet, thank you again. And until next time, I bid you adieu.
Thank you very much.